Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thanks for tuning into another episode of the Dumpster Diaries Podcast. As always, I am Justin Allen, and I'm here with my buddy Moses Wartooth, and we are about ready to kick off the day with some interesting stuff for you guys.
As always, we have a lot to talk about today, so we might as well just jump on in.
Yeah, man. I don't know, dude, what you been up to, man? You been doing anything cool?
Been doing a little bit of traveling.
Yeah.
Been going to some surrounding towns.
Well, I realized I actually, in our show, we'll talk about topics and we'll go over things and stuff. Typically current events or whatever.
Yeah.
But we don't really ever talk all that much about what we actually do.
Nah, we really don't. That brings me up to a funny thing. Remember whenever we were asked a couple of years ago what we did for a living? And we were literally in between doing anything.
Yeah, we Moses and I had started it was what were we doing? We had to go to a bank together. Was it a small, little, at-home business that we were doing?
Yeah, it was a small company, but I can't even remember what it was going to be.
It was one of those, basically holding companies, put it on paper for tax purposes, all that. You can put money in a bank account.
Wolf Cola.
Yeah, Wolf Cola, for all those, fans of It's Always Sunny or whatever. Shout out to anyone who got that reference.
Yeah.
But, yeah, dude, so we're sitting there, and we have to meet with the branch manager, right? And they're like, oh, they're opening a business account, and they're like, man, we're putting $100 in this.
Yeah, not much at all. And Justin looks professional like always. I look slightly more normal human than I do right now. I at least had on a regular T-shirt, maybe.
Yeah, and then so Moses and I usually in social situations will feed off each other. They'll be like, okay, we're really good at being okay, who needs to talk in this scenario or whatever. Typically based on our outward visual appearance, right? Because there's some people, some scenarios where it might be better if he talks because they'll feel more comfortable. It might be better if I talk because they'll feel more comfortable, whatever the hell it may be. But this branch manager sits in here and we're talking about opening this business.
He's a super nice guy. It was good.
And he's throwing out all these plans for here's these small business loans for up to $5 million we can give you. I'm like, small business loan? Dude, I'm about to open a fucking checking account with $100. And, so we're talking and we're all friendly and stuff, and I'm doing 90% of the talking or whatever, and then friggin' the guy just asked us, he's like, so what do you guys do anyway? And there's this very awkward pause because we're both waiting on the other person to talk. And then we just look at each other, and then I don't even remember what we said. We were like sales or some shit. I don't know.
I think we kind of laugh and look back at the guy and we're like, school. I mean, at that time, we still are, but we were both still in college at that time, too.
Yeah, dude. So but he had the most awkward look on his face because here we are opening this, what probably looks like a really shady business already. And then you got two oddly polarizing looking figures in there, that typically look like they would never talk to each other. And it's we're opening this bank account, and it's just it can't explain what we actually do.
And we even had trouble. I remember we had trouble explaining what our business was going to be also. So that was another hurdle we had to pass. Even talking to the original people we were talking to, she was like, so what kind of business is this? And we were like, can we see a list of the options to pick one of these things?
Yeah, man, it was a fun time, dude. There's been tons of times we've been in situations, man, where I don't know, I know there's been times where we've been out at bars or shows before, rock shows, stuff like that. And we need to talk to people. And I go out, I'm typically dressed in nice blue jeans or slacks, a button down. Sometimes I'll even throw on a tie and shit. I'll totally stand out. Don't look like I belong at all, right? All the time.
Could have walked out of Wall Street.
Yeah. And so he'll have to do a lot of the talking. I'll be like, hey man, go in there, you talk to these guys, you're gonna feel more comfortable. Because one thing that I do always get, and I've always gotten this, man, because I've always dressed like this, is people think I'm a cop.
Yeah, yes. That has happened multiple fucking times.
Yeah, being at house parties or whatever, kids, this is more back in the day, but kids, smoke weed or whatever, and they'd be like, man, I don't know that guy, I think he's a cop or whatever, and it's just what? And then it gets even better because I don't drink now, right? I'm on a hiatus from it, and so, but I will still go out. So if I go out, I order a club soda and lime juice, I look like this, and then they're just this dude is a cop.
Yeah, he's at a bar, he's not drinking, he's dressed like this, you're not fooling anybody.
And I'm all friendly talking to people and stuff
yeah, because he's super charismatic too. So he'll just start conversations out of nothing, which then they're like, are you fishing for information? What's going on here?
No, dude, I'm just genuinely just trying to be nice.
He's just actually a nice dude.
Dude, I took a trip to yesterday. I took a trip. I actually went on a date. I went to Tyler, Texas. I went to this place. It's pretty cool, like a little arcade place, man. They got, I mean, you name it, arcade games, but they got, big thing that I wanted was laser tag.
Oh yeah.
They got like bowling in there and stuff too, man. It's a really cool place. I think it's called Grand Slam actually, but I don't know if it's a franchise or whatever. But it's kind of like a Dave and Buster's. But,
okay.
But there was a lot of kids there. But I was in there too, like, so my date and I.
They have alcohol in there?
Yeah.
Yeah, because like Dave and Buster sells alcohol. What's that other place?
Not sure.
I don't know. Dave and Buster's is like the main one.
Yeah, that's more catered to adults.
Main events. That's the only thing I was thinking about.
And so we went. It was a good time, man. But we were playing laser tag, dude, and I was like getting into that. I was
blasting the kids.
I was fucking these kids up, dude. Her and I were the oldest ones in there, dude. Like. It was like us, and like I'm 33, she's 28, right? So like, and then the other ones, like anyone else that was in that, and it was every man for himself. There wasn't teams.
Oh, okay.
So, but all the other people that were in there, like maybe the oldest person was like maybe 14, maybe. And so, dude, and it was like multi-level, like 2-story.
Oh shit, that's cool.
So I was just like clearing corners, dude. I felt like Robert Downey Jr. in Tropic Thunder. I was with my date, and like I was like, all right, we got to team up, like whatever. Don't shoot me, I won't shoot you, or whatever. She shot me in the back multiple times, or whatever, and I was like, whatever. She's like, I didn't know it was you, and I was like, whatever. But I'm like clearing corners and shit. I mean, I'm like getting into it, man, and I'm like
you're like having flashbacks of Iraq and shit.
I'm thinking I'm back in Iraq and shit, you know. I mean, I'm all like carrying it, like yeah, dude. I'm getting into it, man. I got like that freaking oh shit, I can't even think about it. But anyway, yeah, dude, I'm like clearing it. I mean, I just start yelling shit. Like, I'm just taking kids out, and I'm like, get some! Like, you know, and these kids are just like, what?
You've got the gun in one hand, you're like, grenade! They're like, well, there's no fucking grenades here.
Frag out! Yeah, you know, I'm just like a fucking 8-year-old. But I did, like...
Stepping on their chest and shit, like, oh!
Yeah, and I was, like, going hardcore, man. I was, like, crouching. I was moving quick and all this other stuff. And, dude, when the score came in, I got in 7th, man. Those kids are brutal, dude. Really? Like, I was like, God dang, man.
I mean, to be fair, I'm sure those kids have probably played a lot more and a lot more recently than you have. I know it's been at least fucking 8 to 10 years since I played laser tag. That shit is fun. I haven't played it in a long ass time. I forgot I didn't even think about it. Like,
yeah, I felt like a kid again, dude. Yeah. And then my date that I was on, there's a small town on the way back to where we live, which by the way, like where I went to Tyler, like that's basically like a couple hour drive to get there, right? And so freaking we were driving back, and we have to go through this really small town or whatever that she's from, and there's one bar in this town, and she's talked about it quite a bit before and been like, oh, this is like the trashiest of the trashiest. And I was always
based on where we know trashy. Yeah, like, that's all there is.
This is backwoods, like you name it. Like this is. Yeah, it's rough, man. Let's just say someone like looks like me ain't got no business being in a place like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so like you go in and it's just, I mean, she was like, I don't want to go. I was like, let's just see. I just want to see it because you talked about it because that was like a place she went when she was younger because they let like 18-year-olds in. Oh and stuff,
shit, okay,
you know, not drinking or whatever. Yeah. And I went in there and I was like, holy fuck, man, this is the last stop on the road to hell. Like that is all that is, dude. It was just nothing but like fucking broken dreams and lost hopes, man. Like just in there, I was like, good God. She's like, yeah, we used to hang out here, and I was like, but you poor bastard.
Like, was it better or worse back then?
Dude, we were in there 5 minutes. I drink a water, we left.
Ooh, you better be tested after drinking that water.
I was like,
did it come from a bottle?
But I don't know. I think every small town has their like little shitholes like that. You know, even the town we live in, we have one or whatever. You could still smoke in this place. If that tells you anything, ladies and gentlemen.
Nice.
You know. So.
Damn. That reminds me. I went to a fucking bar not too long ago. It was a couple hours up north as well, and you could smoke in that bar too. Yeah,
it's some weird shit. Like in Texas, like if the bar's been around long enough, it can get grandfathered.
They get grandfathered in.
They can get grandfathered in, and then also like if it's outside of city limits, in some cases they can like finagle it or whatever. But that goes more on like local laws and stuff like that and statutes. And so. But yeah, man, it was I was like, good God, dude, just HPV as far as the eye could see. That's what was in there, man. I was like, God damn, brother, like, you know, and so.
Like, how many people do you think were in there whenever y'all were there?
Dude, there wasn't any. It was Saturday night at like almost midnight, and they closed at 2 a.m. And dude, there was
so that would have been peak time. Like.
Yeah, there was maybe 25 people, maybe, and a lot. Let's just put it this way: it looks like the kind of place you could definitely score crystal meth.
Okay, that's what I was picturing. That's what I was picturing. I was like, anyone under 50 probably has meth, and the other half of the people are probably over 50.
Yeah, so like the date that I was on, she called her mom, was like, we're going there, and then her mom was like joking around and stuff, and she was like, they're probably going to think he's a cop, like going in there, looking how I look, and like not drinking and shit, you know? And I was like, yeah, you know, but it's known for being like kind of like a little rough place.
Some old man's going to come up here and be like, hey, you can't tell me I can't smoke here. You're
dude.
like, I'm not a fucking cop.
There was a dude trying to creep on my date. Like, dude, we were leaving and she was going because they take your debit card as soon as you get in.
Oh, yeah.
And then you go to the bar and all that shit and then whatever.
Like, they take it before you get to the bar?
Yeah, because they do a cover charge. I mean, you can pay in cash, but like they do a cover charge or whatever. So they just took her like debit card. Because I tried to give her like, when we walked in, okay, I saw the place and I peeked my head in and I was like, ooh. And I was like, all right, we'll still go in here.
Yeah.
And then the woman was like, oh, $5 each. And then I looked at my date and I was like, hey, I left my wallet in the car. So we can go back and get. That was like my key of like, hey, we can just get out of here
now.
know?
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, it's cool. I got my debit card. And I was like, fuck.
All right. Thanks for not realizing what I was doing. Right?
And so we just sat in there. She smoked a cigarette. I drank water, and I was like, fuck it. But we were trying to leave, and there was like a dude, like this, like morbidly obese dude, like just old, and was trying to like talk to her and was like, oh, are you already leaving? You know? And that dude was sitting there, and then like I noticed him that night, and all he would do is just like creep on like these girls. Like there was only like, they had like a dance floor, but there was only like 4 fucking girls dancing. And you could just tell that he would just sit there and just drink his beer and just stare at them because they're wearing like fucking cowgirl boots and booty shorts and all that shit. And so I think he's just like an old fat fuck that likes something nice to stare
I'm sure,
at,
man. That's probably the highlight of his Saturday night. That's probably the highlight of his damn week.
Yeah, man. But I will say this though, Tyler, Texas is kind of a cool little place, man. Like it's got a lot of shit. Like it's a decent sized little city or whatever.
It is. It's not like it doesn't piss me off like Dallas does.
Dude, Dallas. Houston. Dude, when I'm driving in Dallas, dude, that is panic attack city, dude.
100%, man. I'm talking like white knuckle. Do not talk to me. I turn my music down. I'm like trying to get the fuck out of there. Dude, I hate it. Did I
ever tell you about the time I actually almost died on a highway in Dallas?
No.
Like for real, almost like some Final Destination shit. Like, so I was fucking driving. You know, everyone speeds. So they'll be like, oh, the speed limit on this highway is 60 miles an hour, but everybody's doing 80. Yep. You know? And because like, what are they going to do? Pull us all over?
Exactly.
And
strength in numbers.
Strength in numbers, dude. We can take down the fascist cocksuckers and stop them from writing tickets.
Yeah.
I still don't understand how I got a ticket for not wearing a seatbelt from a guy on a fucking motorcycle. Like, explain that to me, and I'll start paying my fair share of tax. Oh, never mind. All right. I pay taxes. Sometimes. But anyway.
We love the IRS. Yeah.
But yeah, dude, so I'm hauling ass down like Dallas or whatever. I can't remember. I think I was like coming from an airport there or whatever. I can't remember what the hell I was doing. But it was like some official shit and like some work stuff. And dude, I'm on this highway, and there's like, of course, there's like this like 1983 shit box, like GMC shit box, just full of trash and shit in front of me, right? And it's like, it looks like someone went to a garage sale and bought everything and just threw it in
loaded
the back
it up on that shit
and didn't tie down anything. And so on the back of it,
like the fucking Beverly Hillbillies, like fucking stacked up shit.
On the back of it, it had part of the shit that was there was, you remember, you don't really see it all that much anymore, but you remember those like, what is it, like, I don't want to say cast iron, but those, what is it, wrought iron, like patio furniture?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay, so it
those
had
heavy
like,
motherfuckers.
A couple chairs and like a table.
Yep.
Well, the table was big and circular. Mm-hmm. It caught the wind and it fucking flew out right in front of me, dude. About to hit my fucking windshield, dude. That shit would have went through the fucking glass.
Oh,
like,
for sure.
Probably fucking killed me, man. If at a minimum, if it didn't kill me, like I would have gotten a wreck immediately after.
100%. Yeah, my grandma had one of those fucking patio sets. That shit was heavy. Like, dude, I can imagine that shit getting flipped.
Yeah,
dude. Going right.
And so
did you swerve out of the way?
I fucking booked it, and then another car got the fuck out of the way, and then it was sitting in the fucking road, so I like just pulled over my fucking truck. I was like, all right, I had a truck at the time, and I pulled over my truck, and I was like, all right, fuck it. I'm gonna do the right thing. I'm gonna get this shit out of this fucking road real fast. There's a lot of fucking people. It's getting dark. I was like, it's hard to see this shit, man. Somebody's gonna get like really hurt. So I'm like, I fucking jog down. I see it. I'm like, all right, I just got to like bank across like fucking three lanes of a fucking busy ass highway at like 6 o'clock at night or whatever. And, dude, I'm getting like close to it to get it. And then a fucking 18-wheeler comes through and just smashes into it. It explodes into fucking pieces and sparks and shit. And then you can just hear it, like part of it gets caught underneath and you can just... And then it's just sparks flying and shit. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? And I just get in my truck and drive off. And I'm like,
yeah, dude, you were insane. There's no way I would have stopped. I'd have been like,
can't fuck
yeah. I'd be like, didn't come off of my shit. I'm not stopping.
Yeah, dude. It's like, I don't know, man. Driving in America, dude, like, especially like in our hometown. I think like last episode I bitched about, or the one before that I bitched about, like our local municipality is like fucking all the work they're doing and how shitty our roads are. And they like... Dude, those guys, I mean, I don't know. I've drove on better roads in Iraq is all I'm going to say. So, you know, there's that. I don't know if I really want to go on a rant about local government.
I mean, I will say this, though. Texas has better roads than surrounding states.
True. You go to Louisiana.
Louisiana is dog shit.
Woo, buddy. You know, Louisiana is one of the most corrupt states in the country.
I'm not surprised.
I think it's number 3. Like, legitimately for like business and political corruption, Louisiana is like number 3.
They're like up in the ranks with like Afghanistan and shit. Like, Cambodia, like
it's like Cambodia, Louisiana, like, you know, China. So, but yeah, dude, I think the number one state or whatever that was taking a lead on that shit was Mississippi, actually. Yeah, it's all that I-20 like shit. Super south shit is just like super corrupt. But that's also why you have a lot of issues with them not being able to really get shit done, like as a government, a state government, and even like city governments, is because it's so corrupt. Because like, especially if you go to Shreveport is like a shithole, and it should not be because it generates so much revenue.
Yeah,
like it is insane. 50 Cent actually just built like a $50 million studio there, by the way.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, like for real. Like he moved down there for tax purposes and shit. I know exactly where he built that shit. I was like, oh, because I lived there for a couple years. But they have, I mean, it's famously rumored it's called like the Sin City of the South.
Yeah.
Like it's just strips of casinos. There's all kinds of gas and oil industry shit going there, man. There's a lot of entertainment. It's also known as the Hollywood of the South. I didn't know that till I lived there because a lot of movies are filmed there.
I didn't know that.
A lot of movies have filmed them. Like that really shitty movie with Gerard Butler, what is it, Olympus Has Fallen? With,
I've heard of it.
With Morgan Freeman and shit, where it's just like the fucking White House gets overran or whatever. Anyway, that shit was filmed there. I know a couple guys that were in that movie, actually. It's kind of cool. But yeah, man, they got all this money coming in, but they're just so fucking corrupt that it just never ends up going where it needs to go and actually doing anything. So that's why you get down to like these regions and it's just like it's falling apart. It looks like a third world country and shit, you know? It's like, god damn, do we even have running water in this shithole?
Dude, that I was watching a documentary on and it was a Mississippi prison, specifically one section. It was called Section 29.
I know what you're talking about.
Dude, like insane. The guards,
worst prison conditions in the entire country.
Dude, I would rather like I would go to like a South American prison before I went there, and that's really fucking saying something.
Yeah, dude, yeah, like that one was bad, dude. Like it would just be flooded. There'd be rats everywhere. Like the food would literally have maggots in it. The prisoners had cell phones.
Well, they said the guards, because the guards are one of the most the guards in Mississippi are the most underpaid guards in all of America. So they make like $29,000 a year.
There's no incentive to actually.
No, they said part of their income is doing deals with inmates so they can make a livable income.
Nobody sees the problem with this.
So they were like I saw a video with 2 inmates and they had a pit bull puppy in the jail because they brought it in there and bought it for them. They were smoking joints. They were fucking.
Why not? Yeah. Why not, ladies and gentlemen?
Exactly.
God,
that's America, man.
That's America, dude. You know, and like the prison system in America is actually really crazy because
it's corrupt as shit.
That, and then you deal with like the privatized prisons, man. Like the GEO group.
That's a money-making machine right there.
Core Civic as well.
Yeah.
Like those are actually traded on the fucking NASDAQ.
I know,
like,
they're like a extremely lucrative business.
Yeah, they pay dividends like religiously. Like I mean, they're actually good companies to invest in, from what I remember.
Yeah, I mean, very loose term, good, but yeah.
But what you can literally do right now, you can go and open a brokerage account. ladies and gentlemen, you can open a brokerage account.
We're not giving financial advice.
You can put money into it. Then you can go and buy stock in the GEO Group or Core Civic. They run all the private prisons in America for the most part. And then not only that, their stocks can go up, but they pay dividends. That's your share of the revenue they generate from their services rendered. And you can get a check every 3 months in your account from the imprisonment and enslavement of American citizens.
Just for having a nickel bag of weed.
No one sees the problem with that?
Nah.
Because it creates a financial incentive to continue to have those prisons full. And they're under contracts because it's state-owned facilities, but they're contracted out with private organizations. They have to have a fucking goddamn rate of occupancy for that contract to be valid.
They're run very similar to a school. You know how a school gets paid based on butts in the chair?
Yeah.
That's how a prison runs.
You think I thought that truancy officer was coming to my house because he cared?
No, he didn't give a shit about your education. He wanted that money.
That money. Gotta get that money.
All about that money.
Yeah, man. So if anyone ever tells you human life doesn't have value, doesn't have a dollar value, well,
they don't know shit.
They don't know shit. Just ask a fucking insurance salesman.
Yeah, right on that.
Damn, dude. Fuck. Anything else been going on, dude? I don't know. I don't know, man. I mean, there's all the bull. We talk so much about politics. I'd rather just.
I know. I'm tired of that shit, man.
It's getting a drag. I'm tired.
I know. Soon enough, there'll be one candidate to rule them all, I guess. So I'll have to figure that shit out.
One candidate to rule them all. Actually, just making fun of that, I did watch Clerks 2 the other day.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, have you ever seen that shit?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh my god, dude. That Elias character is fucking hilarious. When Randall is making fun of the Lord of the Rings so bad it makes that dude throw up.
Yeah.
Dude, it's great. He was like, there's nothing but fucking 3 movies of straight walk, and he was like, even the fucking trees walked in that movie. You know? He's like acting it out and shit. Yeah. But yeah, dude, I fucking love Kevin Smith as a director, man. I wish he
just did an interview with Theo Vaughn. It was really good.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. I watched it a couple days ago.
I have to check that out, man.
Yeah, you need to check it out. It was good.
Dude, are we gonna go see Donnell Rawlins in Austin in October? Or no?
I would like to.
Yeah, thinking about getting us tickets.
It's been a while since we've been out there.
Yeah, it'd be a good time, dude. Do some shows, go see some shows. Be like, all right, cool. Yeah, man. I meant to go check out that Rose City Comedy Club in Tyler.
Oh yeah,
I was there, but didn't do that. So maybe next time. I don't know. They got some shit going on. It's not big at all. It's like the only comedy club there. So
yeah, again, in our area, we're very limited on that kind of shit. So
sure, no doubt, man.
Gotta take it where we can get it.
I don't know. I'm still trying to. We made a short a couple of weeks ago. I'm still trying to kind of come to terms with. A couple of people saw it and they were asking me about it. And I basically just joked about how at work I had made friends with a guy who just thought that he had a really bad drinking problem and then he was always drunk. And this went on for like 3 months. And then I would hang out with him and shit, and he was a cool dude. And then it turns out, like, he didn't have a drinking problem. Like, he didn't really even drink. Like, he was just autistic. And I was like...
Turns out he had the club soda and lime in his cup, too.
Well, it's just, someone told me the other day that I was on the spectrum, and I don't know, that really fucked with me a little bit. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, no, I'm not. I like, pulled up the symptoms, and I started looking. I was like, ooh, shit. No, put that up.
Check.
But no, it was, I was getting fucked with because I got OCD like a motherfucker. Like, in my house, like, everything's really clean and organized and all this other stuff, and so I was getting told that basically like, yeah, that's because you're on the spectrum, dude. And I was like, no, I just like to have shit organized, you know.
Yeah, it's like, called knowing where things is when you want to look for it. Like,
yeah, dude, I don't know. I was like, I don't know, maybe Asperger's or something.
I don't know, man. I'm beginning to think like
I got burgers in my ass.
I'm beginning to think like there are no like normal people anymore.
There isn't.
Everyone has something.
Yeah.
Everyone has something, man.
Yeah, and if you think we're full of shit, just go and you can probably get a digital copy of it, but look up the DSM-5. That is literally the manual that all shrinks and psychologists have to use to diagnose someone with any kind of psychological disorder. It could be from OCD all the way to straight schizophrenia. It could be any drug shit, alcohol shit, you name it.
Narcissism, like whatever the fuck.
The thing is, the field of psychology has expanded so much in the last, really, like, honestly, like 100 years, 50 years.
Ever since living got easier.
Yes. So everything fits in a box.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also, like, an inherent problem with this, too, I think. Because a part of becoming a doctor, not necessarily a medical doctor, but just getting a PhD, okay, is that you have to publish a dissertation, right? So you have to create essentially an original idea or theory that gets peer reviewed and legitimately is published. So then you are a published author, and that gets you your PhD essentially. Well, imagine all the people that have PhDs in psychology.
Yeah. You start running out of shit to talk about.
Exactly. So then I think you just start making shit up halfway through. And then next thing you know, like what used to be definitive, like, okay, this is disorder, like here are the symptoms of this, right? Eventually it's like, okay, add a few more, and then it becomes a spectrum, and then it's like, okay, half the population fits in this.
And then it becomes like a genre with subcategories, and it's all divided up into different stuff, and it just keeps expanding, and the little spider webs keep going out.
You ever notice how those guys never really want you to get better?
No.
You know? There's always like some bullshit, you know?
If they're not pushing pills on you, they're still pushing next week's therapy session.
Yeah, I'm skeptical of like shrinks and shit because there's always an incentive to have you returning.
There is, which I mean, I'm all for. So it does legitimately seem to help some people.
Sure.
So there's no problem with that. I mean, personally, I've been to therapy multiple times.
Yeah, so have
multiple points in my life, and I haven't ever found that it actually helped me.
Yeah.
Normally it just pisses me off because I don't like the other person, which that probably says more about me. But whatever. I mean,
that's why you're in therapy.
Yeah, like they got to their point for a reason. I'm just gonna come in and not like them. But you know, I don't know. I don't really connect with people like that. So especially on a therapy level, like I would much rather just tell you my shit. So
yeah. Just got a couple of good friends and
yeah, exactly, man. I don't need to pay nobody for that.
Yeah, man.
But it is good for the people that it does help.
Well, after I had my first panic attack ever, because I thought it was a heart attack, and then once they figured out it wasn't, and they were like, okay, it's actually a panic attack, they were like, you should probably go see like a shrink. So I went, and like it really wasn't bad. Like I was like, okay, like cool. I went for like a little while, and I was like, all right, man, like it's not. I don't know. I mean, I could see how like for some people it could be super beneficial.
Yeah.
But then I also can see how some people it can be detrimental. Like it may even create more issues or keep issues revolving, right? Because that's like one thing that like I don't really like. We'll talk about like my personal struggles with alcohol, right? On and off the wagon all the fucking time. Well, not like all the time.
Yeah, you've been good for a while.
yeah. But I go through like it's very weird. Like I'll take a break, and sometimes it's a month, and sometimes it's 2 years, you know? And then anytime I've ever gone back to it, it's always been a very conscious decision, you know? But so when you talk about like alcoholism and stuff like that, the thing is, when I was the first time like I tried to quit drinking in like my mid-20s, where I was like, okay, like this actually has to happen. That was actually when I quit drinking for 2 years. You know, I went to like meetings and stuff and everything like that. And what frustrated me the most was it almost felt like, and this is going to sound really harsh, and I don't mean it to sound harsh, but I felt like people wanted to wallow in that and use it as an excuse and use it as a definition of who they were
instead of putting it past them and moving on up and getting out of it.
Like I get like, and you would talk to people who'd be like, oh, I haven't had like a drink in 5 years or 10 years, or like even some people like 20, and it's like,
why are you still talking about it?
Yeah, but you're still letting this define who you are. You know, I get it. Like if you have like a weakness with it, sure. Like trust me, I get it, man.
Yeah.
But that doesn't need to become your identity. You know what I mean? But hey, you know, fuck it. Who am I? If it works for those fucking people,
true.
Cool,
everybody's
man.
different. Like people need different coping mechanisms and shit. Yeah. So who knows?
Because my thing is like once I'm done with something, like I'm fucking done with it. I stay away from it, and I get all that, you know. And it's like, if I have a desire to have a drink, like I'll be very conscious about it and be like, oh yeah, this is what I'm going to do, and this is why I'm going to do it, or whatever. Usually it's like, you know, just having fun, or sometimes working through some things, whatever the fuck it may be. But, you know, and then you drink for, you know, a month straight, 2 months, whatever, and then, you know, you come out of it.
You wake up again, you're like, oh shit.
Yeah. But, no, I think this time around, I think I'm actually like done with it though, man. Yeah, because I gained weight from it too, man. That's what started getting me, was like the physical side of it. Like my blood pressure started getting high, and then I gained weight from it, and I was just feeling like shit all the time.
That's my thing. Like now drinking just makes me feel like dog shit.
Yeah.
Like
there's
bad. Like I'll if I drink the night, I'll lose the next day, and I'm like, I can't do that shit.
And something around like 30, dude, like the hangovers.
Yeah. In my 20s, I was always like, man, that's bullshit.
They ain't never gonna fucking happen.
And then it does. So
yeah, dude. So I don't know, but yeah, like, you know, like addiction, like especially alcoholism is very interesting when you really look into it and stuff, man.
Especially why it's like the most accepted addiction out of everything.
That's actually why I think it's one of the hardest ones to kick. Because it is socially acceptable, and it's readily available, and it's relatively cheap.
And like no one's gonna be like, why'd you stop doing meth?
Yeah,
like, you don't want it, like, if you go to a 4th of July party, like, no one's gonna offer you heroin.
Yeah.
So
because I'll tell you this from fact, like, and I've done this multiple times in different cities with different social groups, and you've even seen this with me before. When you quit drinking for like the first month, everyone you know is always asking you, like, why'd you stop?
Yeah.
Like, or like, why don't you want to drink?
Or you'll just straight lose friends.
Yeah, like, that does happen. That really does happen. That puts things in perspective real quick. You're like, okay, cool.
But I mean, again, sometimes people come into your life and you only have that one thing in common. So then once you stop that, you no longer cease to be like, you don't have anything in common with the person anymore. So
maturity. Yeah. Like that's just us growing as adults.
Moving on up.
Moving on up. Speaking of moving on up, buy a goddamn t-shirt.
That too. Patreon. Woohoo, $1 a month.
Woo! Check out the links.
Support the coons.
But yeah, man. Alcoholism is a very interesting disease, especially I was reading Jordan Peterson's book, 12 Rules for Life or whatever. It's really good, man. Now, a lot of people shit on it because I will say this. He is a very religious person.
Yeah, he is.
So that there is an element of that in his writings.
Which I listened to it on audiobook and it really, like, I'm not religious at all, and it didn't, like, the religious aspect that he was putting into it didn't bother me. It wasn't like overbearing or like I just felt like it pertained to his opinion on what he was talking about, so it wasn't bad.
There's a really good part where he talks about specifically alcoholism, because I guess, you know, they always say once an alcoholic, always an alcoholic.
Yeah.
But he struggled with it like in his like early 20s and I think early 30s too. Like he was like a fucking drinker and shit.
Yeah, because that was all there was to do up there.
Yeah, like fucking
freezing
Canada.
death up there. Yeah.
And so, but he talks about like the anxiety disorder that comes with it sometimes with like some people, and essentially they'll drink, then they'll have like especially the next day during a hangover, like they'll start to have anxiety like feelings or whatever, and then what alleviates that is alcohol, because alcohol is really good at relieving anxiety.
Yeah.
Well, then basically the cure becomes the cause of the disease, and then that's where alcoholism starts, man. And so it's kind of like to see, he's very good at wording it very simplistically and like explaining it and being like, oh, this is really good. But the guy is a clinical psychologist for like his entire life. Like he's not an idiot. Like you can get mad and be like, oh, I think he's right wing or whatever, but you can't deny his like ability to understand and interpret and then relay information centered around clinical psychology.
Yeah.
You can't call him an idiot.
He holds his position for a reason.
Exactly. Exactly. You know, now they're fucking with him.
Oh, for sure.
You know, and which is what pisses me off, because I really like Jordan Peterson.
I do too.
I really do. I don't have anything bad to say about that guy. But
he's not pushing bullshit on people. Like everything that he says is super positive. Like
take care of yourself?
Yeah, like he's actively trying to get everyone to better their lives. And if you don't, like, how can you be pissed off at a man that's trying to do that? I don't understand that.
Yeah.
That's
like
bullshit.
One of his rules was like basically like always tell the truth.
Yeah.
Or at a minimum, don't lie. Like maybe sometimes you have to admit things or whatever, like, or not willingly divulge information, but don't ever lie.
Yeah.
How is that bad advice?
I don't know.
You know, like one of them is like, get your house in order before you criticize the world. And he just talks about like, you need to have your ducks in a row before you start trying to tell other people what's right and wrong and how to live their lives and like all this other shit.
And you're never going to be perfect, so just go ahead and don't judge people.
Yeah.
Like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, for sure. But he's a good dude, man.
Yeah, he is.
Did I ever tell you about how I trolled his daughter's page, though, for like a long time?
No.
Dude. All right, I did. This is dirty. All right. So his daughter, Michaela Peterson, is a very successful and this is irrelevant, but very attractive young lady, right?
It's not irrelevant.
It's never irrelevant, my man. But, it always matters.
It does.
Let me ask you something, man. Do 2 5s make a 10, or how's that work?
3 5s make a 10.
But so anyway, so Michaela Peterson like wanted to get her own self out there and like kind of get out from behind her dad's shadow and stuff. So she did a couple like marketing and branding things or whatever. And one of the things that she did was she created the branding for the Lion diet, right?
Oh yeah.
Which is the carnivore diet, but like on steroids, basically. Not actual steroids.
Just red meat and salt and water.
Yeah, really extreme, right? I don't particularly think that's healthy, but whatever, is what it is. And so
better than Krispy Kreme.
Yeah, so she would post this shit, on I did this all on Facebook, but she would post this shit on Facebook, advertising her brand, and then it would be like success stories, like do this, do that. And so I'm kind of an internet troll. So I would just get on in the comments and just start spreading bullshit. I'd be like, get on there and be like, I've been doing this diet for like 3 weeks, like literally like updates, and I'd be like, is anybody else shit blood? Dude, anything and everything you could imagine, I'd be like, yeah, like I'm glad I lost the weight, but like the fucking chronic diarrhea just isn't worth it, like shit. Like I talked about having ending up in the hospital for a heart attack.
Like I've had black spots in my vision for the past 3 days.
Because I haven't had any vitamin A or whatever But so I would just troll her shit, but people would start believing my stuff, man. And like I remember one time, like it was clearly a joke. Anyone with like half a brain could tell it was a joke. But I said something about shitting blood or whatever, and this woman was like, "No, I haven't had that issue, but keep me updated on your story. I'm curious. Like I'm a few weeks into this diet, and I'm kind of concerned there's some health issues." I'm like, "Lady, like you shouldn't be doing a diet that you're concerned about, first of all. Second of all, if you are, you need to be working with a doctor."
Well, yeah, I was going to say, that tells me she hasn't done enough research on her own.
Yeah, because we both did the carnival diet. Carnivore.
Carny food, funnel cakes, cotton candy. Yeah.
Love it. I love it. Hey, man, a funnel cake, I'll fucking flip over a table for you.
Dude, it's been so long since I had a funnel cake.
You should
a good funnel cake is hard to find, but damn, they're good.
They're fucking good. They're so bad for you.
They're
good.
Terrible. Yeah.
You know what you should label this episode? Just ADHD. Because it's just bouncing across all over different shit. It makes no sense. We haven't even talked about like an actual topic.
I mean, normally normally our episodes run like, we'll have like 5 topics to talk about, and then in between that it's just weaved in and out of just insane bullshit. But then now this is just one whole episode of that. We're educating. People are learning shit.
Yeah, funnel cakes. But yeah,
the carnivore diet.
Yeah, the carnivore diet, man. Like,
that shit was cool, man. I liked it. Yeah.
You did it for like a while.
Yeah, I did it for 6 months.
Yeah.
It was only meat, eggs, and that's it.
Now, I did it for 6 months, but I only did hamburger meat. So I would because I had to have something, so I found like some seasoning and shit. Mm-hmm. Basically had like no carbs or whatever, and then I would just make it. Essentially was just like taco meat.
Yeah.
And then I literally just ate that for like 2 months straight, and I lost like 35 pounds. But I also quit drinking in that period too.
Yeah.
And I started exercising, because you do have to exercise. You will lose muscle mass.
For sure.
Shit.
Yeah. Like I lost about 10 pounds, but I was eating 16 eggs a day and about 1.5 pounds of beef a day.
Yeah.
So
see,
I was still catching my shit.
I was only eating probably like 1 pound of beef a day, and that was like really it. But I was also like in mega weight loss mode too.
Yeah.
So I was like trying to like have a caloric deficit the entire time.
Yeah, I was trying to ensure that I didn't lose too much weight.
Bro, I was tired as hell the whole entire time on that diet. I felt so malnourished. I mean, I was taking a multivitamin
I felt the same, dude. Like
really?
Yeah, it really like I will say I was more fatigued like during working out and like average day-to-day shit. I was more like physically tired, but as far as like needing sleep, it was about the same.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, I was just lethargic as hell.
But I do think if someone is overweight, the carnivore diet is like
100%. Like as long, I mean, I would say do blood tests first, like a full panel. Like check your blood pressure.
Sure, we're not giving medical advice.
Yeah, I would go to a doctor and get it done, man. And like I would like get your cholesterol checked and stuff, because I don't give a fuck what people say. Like, dude, you're eating red beef that is loaded with triglycerides, like cholesterol, you name it, man. Like, so it's like,
but as long as
you have high cholesterol already,
yeah, that's the key. Or if you're like genetically disposed to having those issues, then you should 100% get checked out anyways.
Because I am. That's why I didn't want to do it too long.
Yeah.
And I did blood work just before I started too, to make sure. I was like, all right, cool. And they were like, yeah, your cholesterol's a little high, but we're not going to put you on any medication. Just kind of like change your diet up. And I was like, yeah, man, just salads and fruit. And then it went and ate red beef for 2 months
Got
straight.
like the 10-pound beef log from Sam's.
Just like in a parking lot eating that
Eating
shit.
it like cookie dough. Oh, God.
Hey, man, cookie dough's another thing I'll fucking eat.
Yo, cookie dough's good.
I don't give a fuck. Salmonella, that's worth it.
Yeah, I ain't never got that shit.
I did.
Salmonella?
Fucking one time,
cookie
I
dough?
thought I was gonna fucking die.
Holy
yeah, dude,
shit.
I was sick as a fucking dog, man.
Damn, dude.
Sick as a dog. That's like top 3
Yeah,
sickest. I've ever
salmonella
been.
is supposed to, I mean, I've never had it, but it's supposed to be terrible.
I thought I was gonna die.
Dang.
Like, I was like, dude, I never felt so sick in my life.
Like,
dude.
both ends?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, like worst flu imaginable, like
Jesus.
just shitting and
Sweating,
vomiting.
like,
yeah.
damn.
Yeah. That and then COVID. COVID almost fucking killed me.
Yeah.
And it was funny, I was talking all this shit.
Code hit you hard multiple times.
Yeah, dude. Isn't it fucking weird that Wuhan Wheeze get you, baby?
Yeah.
But isn't it fucking weird, like, 'cause you got it at least once, right?
COVID?
Yeah. I thought you got it one time.
I don't think so.
Okay, well, I got it, and I happened to be around you, and then you got really sick. But you didn't get, like, you were, like, normal sick.
Yeah, yeah.
So who knows? You might
Yeah.
have had it, you might not.
Yeah.
But, dude, I was, like, talking this shit. I was like, well, whatever. Like, you know, I'm not too worried about it. Like, I mean, I was washing my hands. I was, like, not up people's asses and stuff, you know. But, and, I was like, if I get it, I get it. You know, I'm relatively young. Dude, I got that, and for 9 fucking days, I was out. Like, that is the worst I've ever felt in my entire life. Dude, by day 8, I remember sitting in the shower just under hot water because I was just cold as fuck. Because I had a fever the whole time. Like, I think I started, like, hallucinating, dude. Like, I was just like, I'm actually going to fucking die. And I just remember just being butt-ass naked in the shower, just sitting under this hot water and just, like, fucking crying.
Just wanting to die.
Like, I literally was crying, and I was just like, because I was just feeling so bad, and it had been going on for so long, and it was nonstop. I couldn't sleep, man. And I was like, what the fuck? And then I just remember just looking up. I was like, dude, like, if this is it, just pull the fucking plug right now. Like, just fucking call it, man. But, like, the last day that I had it, I started coughing up blood too, man. And I was like, what the fuck? You know? Now, that could have been some shit in my throat from being raw as fuck from coughing so much.
Yeah.
But there was nasty phlegm coming up, and there was blood all in that shit. And I was like, when I saw that, I was like, I'm gonna fucking die. And that was that time whenever they didn't have ventilators, and Elon Musk was like, Tesla's gonna start making them, don't worry. But they didn't have any still.
Yeah,
So I was like, well, fuck me, I'm actually gonna fucking die. Like, this is gonna happen. I'm gonna go to the hospital and not even be able to get fucking help. Like, I'm fucked. I'm literally fucked. I'm 6 ways to Sunday's fucked. You know?
There's nothing they can do for you.
Yeah. So, yeah, man. So, I don't know. But then I knew people who had COVID and didn't even realize they had it. Like, they were, like, totally fine.
I know.
And they were like, yeah. I'm
Like, people in my family got it multiple times. Sometimes, like, some of them sometimes they would get sick, more sick than other times. Like, I don't know. That whole thing was just fucking weird, man.
it was weird.
I don't know.
It was really odd.
Very, very questionable.
It's really odd. Because they ate a bat.
Yeah.
Yeah, right, dude. You know? And then it was fucked up as later they came out and acknowledged. They were like, this came out of this fucking Wuhan
the lab.
Institute of Virology, right?
Yeah.
And it was like, dude, I don't know, man. You get it all the time. You just get gaslit, man. By, like, these fucking elitist assholes who are doing all this shady shit, dude. Like, I'm fucking tired of it, man.
It's the world
like,
we live in now.
yeah, dude. It's
how-
like, you don't
it's
know
how
what to
things go.
fucking believe.
That's right.
So, I don't know. I just like to think of, like, worst case scenario, bring it down a notch. That's probably where you land, you know?
Yeah.
So,
At the end of the day, you just need to try to take as best care of yourself as possible. And not depend
for
on
sure,
other
man.
things. Like,
yeah. You can't put all your eggs in one basket, man.
No.
You know? That's one thing I do like about America, man. Even though for all our issues and stuff like that, dude, it is a place where it's, like, built around independence.
Yeah.
You know?
And they may be trying to
Individual
suppress
independence.
freedoms, but we still have a lot of freedom. Like,
And then, like, if you go piece over to, like, Western Europe, like, those people are dependent on the government.
yeah, that's what's scary.
Yeah, and that is carefully orchestrated.
Oh,
my
yeah.
man. So,
I mean, that's
don't know.
currently that's what they would like to happen here.
the ominous they.
Yeah, they.
The fucking lizards who run everything. Dude, I don't know. I've kind of been on, like, a UFO trip here lately, too.
Have you?
Oh, fuck yeah, man. I mean, I've always been into, like, X-Files and, like, the paranormal and shit like that and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
And I've always thought that stuff is interesting. Even when I didn't believe it, I just thought it was creative writing purposes was cool, man. But, yeah, dude, I'm back on my UFO trip, man, dude. They're real. That's a real fucking thing. Those are aliens, dog. I'm back. 100%, dude. You think it's all
committed
aliens?
to the cause.
I'm deep, man. I'm deep. I'm on the back pages of 4chan, dude.
Pulling the strings.
I know shit. I know things. I see the strings that control this system, dude. I know what's going on. Did you hear about that shit the James Webb Telescope allegedly found?
No.
Yeah, this is like not even like fucking around. This is like a real thing. There's a thing, they said, the size of a city that is heading towards Earth and it's supposed to be here in 10 years. But there's like weird shit about it, and some people are like, this might not be like a naturally occurring thing.
Really?
Yeah. Like, is this some Independence Day mothership, you know, about to fucking go over the Empire State Building and blast it away? Who fucking knows? You know?
Dude, by that point, it'll be AI versus the thing in the sky. I'm all for it, man.
I wish a fucking ET would just land on the White House lawn and walk out.
That shit would be crazy.
Bro, you know how much bullshit would just instantly go away? Like, talk about like wars and shit, because it's just like, hey, like, who really gives a shit about our borders?
CNN would be like, Trump and Russia colluded with the aliens to invade the White House. It's a takeover.
You heard it here, folks. It's getting so crazy that I would not be surprised if we heard some shit like that.
I don't know, man. We talked about it whenever all the alien shit was like coming to light and the government basically admitted it. Yeah. No one even gave a shit.
No one gave a fuck. I think it's because like the average Joe never really looked into it, because if you start really looking into it, like officially what they have said and they describe the physics behind it, and especially if you've taken a physics class and then you
realize that it's impossible,
and you realize that based on everything you've been taught and our fundamental understanding of the universe, that is not physically possible to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And all these fucking PhDs, all these doctors, man, they're all fucking saying the same thing. Like, this shit ain't ours. That's fucking scary, man. That's fucking scary, dude. You know, and then fucking who knows? I mean, these guys aren't liars, man. They're all like, these are all like fighter pilots, incredible fucking people that have testified under oath in front of Congress. Like,
yeah, they're not like some Martha-lite psycho people.
Yeah.
Like, they've seen the shit. They've been in the air or on the, like, they've been around it.
Yeah, dude. And they're just like, this is not, like, we don't have anything
it's unexplainable
like this.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, fuck, dude. And I don't know, the connection with like the USOs, man, like the submersible shit. That's what gets me. It's like they're starting to think like maybe these things aren't even coming from fucking space, man. Like,
yeah, but like deep sea.
Yeah, dude. I mean, when you think about it, we don't really know jack shit about the bottom of the ocean. The pressure's too great. Like, we don't. Yeah, but if these things
cold and black down there.
Yeah, if these things can literally create their own bubble of an atmosphere around them, where like the laws of gravity do not apply. I mean, who's to fucking say they can't just hang out in the Mariana Trench, just blowing down with the boys, man?
Sure.
You know? So who knows what kind of weird shit's out there. But I bet, I'm telling you, man, I'm calling it right now. It's aliens, and I bet they've been here for a fucking long time, man.
Yeah, yeah. Because if they had, like, if they have the capabilities to, obviously they're not really threatened by us or want to harm us, because they would have already done it. So
maybe they have been.
Maybe. Maybe this is the reason Kamala's running.
Dun dun dun. That fucking dude. At this point, I wouldn't be surprised if she came out to be a fucking alien.
Could be. Or a robot. AI. Saudi Arabia creator.
Don't come. I'm gonna come. I was watching that video the other day. If you haven't seen that video, just look up Kamala Harris "Don't Come" on YouTube. You will be completely satisfied with what you find. But yeah, dude, I don't know. I think it's aliens. I think the aliens are. I think they're here, man. I think they've been here for a long time, dude. Because I mean, you look at like historically across cultures that never had any contact with each other, right? Mm-hmm. I'm talking about over thousands of years, man. From hieroglyphs to written text and everything, man. Like where they're just like straight up like, or even paintings and stuff. Like they're just like, hey, man, we saw weird shit, man, that was happening. So I don't know. Now, what is their like agenda? Like, are we literally just a petri dish?
I don't know. I mean, it is. I've always felt it would be selfish of us to think we're the only thing in the universe.
Yeah,
like, it doesn't make sense.
Dude, just look up the Drake equation. It's like literally mathematically impossible for that to occur. And then not to mention, like, we just fucking basically figured out that the goddamn universe is not only twice as old as what the fuck we thought it was, but it's like much fucking larger than what we thought it was, which is just mind-boggling as hell.
Because we already can't even fathom how big it is anyways. Like,
they're trying to say that it's close to, I think, like 27 trillion years old.
Holy shit. Yeah, there's no way we're the only thing
Like a
around.
trillion or billion. But anyway, even if it's just a billion, that's still
old as fuck.
old as fuck, man. You know? And it's like we can measure to like the edges of like the universe, if I remember right, because of like there's like some
Like with some equation or something?
Yeah, there's like some radio wave shit that like feedback that comes or whatever from like the creation of the universe. But it's pretty much definitively proven that yes, the universe is expanding. Well, it definitely is proven that the universe is expanding because you can't deny those wavelengths of red light that occurs when that happens from other galaxies. So the universe is expanding. We know it's expanding into something else, and we know it's been here a fucking hell of a lot fucking longer than what we realized. I don't know, man. I don't know. Shit's getting fucking weird, man. Especially when you get into like string theory and then you tie in all this alien shit and all this other crap. I think we're living in some fucking strange times, and I think when this shit all comes to a head, like maybe it's AI helps us get there or whatever. I mean, motherfuckers are talking about solving medical problems and shit. I'm like, dude, you're about to fucking hack the entire universe, man. Like, you realize space and time might not be a fucking thing when this is all said and done, right? And then you think about it, like, that's like a god power, dude. That's a god mode, man.
Yeah.
Like, literally, like, I mean, these craft that we've been seeing and stuff, like, time doesn't apply to them. Time, my man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what the fuck is going on? You know, like, so you can beat that. Fuck, dude, anything's possible.
And then the first question is going to be, how can we make money off of it?
Yeah, it's going to be like some dudes in a room smoking and shit.
Yeah, yeah.
I think we can sell it. You know? Or it's going to be like some bullshit. It's going to be like, let's say it's like some AI shit. It's going to be able to solve every fucking problem in the world, but you got to sit through like 2 15-minute advertisements or 15-second advertisements.
Yeah.
You know? I do think it's kind of fucked up. I was thinking about this shit the other day, man. Like when it comes to like advertisements on YouTube videos and shit like that, when it's videos involving like the Heimlich maneuver and CPR, like they shouldn't be allowed to put advertisements in front of them. You know?
Yeah, I don't need to know about a 45-second Toyota commercial when my friend is over here dying.
I don't need to know about the fucking BOGO deal at fucking Buffalo Wild Wings on Tuesdays. That's a real one. So, yeah, dude. So, I don't know, man, but my money is that it's going to be aliens with that shit, dude. I really, really think. At first, I was skeptical. I was like, nah, dude, this is another fucking government. They figured some shit out that we ain't got. Or they're able to just project shit onto our stuff where it looks like this crazy shit, but that shit ain't really fucking there. But it also doesn't explain seeing it with the naked eye either.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, man, there's weird shit going on, man. Strange times are brewing. Strange times are brewing. I don't know. And then, you know, you look at that speech Ronald Reagan gave at the United Nations. Did you ever see that shit? Where he's talking about an alien invasion?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he was like, basically, how quickly would all our problems get solved if we had, like, a united enemy that we were just like, hey, like, these guys will obliterate us off the face of the earth.
I mean, we had that, 9/11.
Oh, he was talking about the whole world. Like,
yeah,
the human race as a whole. Oh, fuck it, whatever, dude. Like, whatever. Like, I don't joke when it comes to Reagan, all right? I love that, man. I actually saw that movie, though. It was pretty good. Did I talk about that shit? Yeah.
What movie was it?
Reagan.
Oh.
Yeah, they had
Is it new or?
Yeah, it's in theaters right now.
Oh, shit, okay.
They had Dennis Quaid playing him. It's just basically like just about his life, man.
Gotcha.
From like when he's a kid to how he became president and all that shit. But it's pretty fucking good, man.
Yeah.
Like that dude was an American, man. Like he was he was like a fucking cowboy. He was an actor. He became fucking president. Like, it's cool, man. It's cool. You know? Yeah.
The true American dream.
Isn't it crazy? It's like there's two ways to become president in this country. Either you become a career politician and then you climb and fight your way amongst like fucking 400 or well technically 535 fucking other people if you include the House and the Senate. So you might have a shot in the dark there. Or you become egregiously wealthy and famous, and then you run for president. Like
popularity
that's
contest.
It's only, yeah, literally, it's just like a popularity contest, you know. So I don't know, I guess we do have to talk about politics.
He's like, I was an astronaut, a cowboy, a space marine, like yeah.
But like a super troopers,
Yeah.
or
I
not
want to
super
be your
troopers,
next governor.
Starship troopers.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. Dude, I don't know, man. I kind of wish that like Arnold Schwarzenegger would get back in the game somehow, but he can't be president.
I would much. He can fucking run California again.
Dude,
He did pretty good.
Here's a crazy thought. Imagine Elon Musk would never do this, but imagine if Elon Musk ran for governor of Texas.
That'd be cool.
I bet he would win.
That would be cool.
I bet he would win, dude. So, but like, isn't it kind of crazy how like the really rich and powerful have no interest in running in that shit? Because I think it puts limitations on their shit. And the reason why I think that is because Bill Gates gave a statement about that shit, which will send a chill down your fucking spine. So someone was asking him, he's doing this huge like forum or whatever, talking in like this theater. And somebody asked him, they're like, well, you know, all these great things you do, like all these vaccines and solving these world problems, blah, 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 blah.
Creating and solving.
Yeah, creating problems. Creating the problem and selling the solution.
Yeah.
And so they were like, you know, would you ever run for president? And he gives this little, like, pretty short, but he's just like, no, I wouldn't. And they were like, well, why not? And he was like, because there's no limit to what I can do and how long I can do it. He was like, but there is limits to being president. And I was like, damn, brother. Like, he was like, I can do whatever I can do, what I want to do for as long as I'm alive.
Yeah. But
a president can only be a president for 8 years. That's it. And then their power's gone. He was like, but I can keep mine for, I was like, holy shit,
he's playing 4D chess.
Yeah, it's like some fucking boy king shit right there. You know what I mean? Like fuck, man. So, but I don't know. I don't know about Bill Gates, man. He's got some shit,
he's
man.
He's a seedy guy, man. I don't trust him.
He's a seedy dude, man. You see all those fucking kids in like fucking Pakistan that have polio because of his ass now?
No.
Yeah, dude. I'm pretty sure it was Pakistan. So anyway, Bill Gates on paper has done a lot of great things, a shit ton of charity work, a lot of innovating stuff like that, right? Even though he literally stole a bunch of shit from Apple, but we won't get into the weeds and seeds on that. But so one thing that he did later in life was like a vaccine incentive. Mm-hmm. So he was like paying to get these vaccines made, like he was buying them from these pharmaceutical companies and then shipping them to underdeveloped parts of the world, all on his own dime, and then giving them to people for free. So on the surface, it looks great, right? Well, what they don't mention is like there's like an entire village, but there's like a lot of kids, I think, in Pakistan that now have fucking polio because it was a botched fucking vaccine. And like literally, like it was a solid percentage of them ended up with fucking polio. And the only thing he said was like, yeah, sometimes that can happen.
My bad.
And it's like kids whose legs don't work, they're literally just like hand crawling through the streets and shit, you know? And it's like, what the fuck, man?
So Bill Gates, humanitarian extraordinaire or greatest terrorist of all time?
You be the judge.
Yeah.
Tune in next week. You know? So I don't know, man. But and then he had that weird shit going on with his wife.
Yeah. Well, he was like basically.
Well, he got caught.
He was doing
cheating.
Right? With some underage, or not underage, but interns.
Yeah, I consider it cheating. But the one I'm talking about is a specific woman.
The one where he was like emailing her and shit. Is that what?
No, he had a woman that it was in his prenup with his wife. He had a woman that he had known forever, and he was allowed to go take trips with her, go on dates with her, like basically be with her whenever he wanted, and his wife couldn't divorce him over that. Like it was in the agreement.
Damn.
And shit. But
that's his day one.
Yeah, but then his wife found out about some other shit and divorced his ass, right? Like basically he was just like slamming ass across town.
It's fucking Bill Gates, like.
Of course, right? And you know, money, right?
Yeah, I mean, enough said. Like, come on.
Like, you know, whoever says that doesn't play a factor is full of shit. But yeah, she found out some other shit, and then she exposed the prenup. She was like, yeah, like he's kind of weird, man. You know, and I was like, I mean,
what does that say for her? She signed that shit.
I know, right? Money.
Yeah.
Exhibit A, man. But I don't know. Money makes people do weird things too, man. Like we discussed on last episode.
Take a look at Diddy.
What the fuck are these guys so goddamn weird, man? You know, because I feel like we would just be normal. But these guys, I don't know, dude. Like why? And why is it always some sexual shit
I don't
too,
know,
dude?
man.
You know, like
I don't know.
Like if I'm gonna be weird, like I don't know, man. I might have like a fucking trampoline park in my backyard.
Yeah, like I'm weird, you know? But I'm not gonna do like weird shit. Like, I don't know. I don't know.
Weird, man.
Yeah.
It's just weird. I don't know. But hey, you know what, man? In the words of Boris Johnson, dims the brakes.